2025, Daniel with four tray of clubs makes the call.
Daniel's drawn to small suited connectors like a bear to honey. And who doesn't like honey?
Who doesn't? Chaka, 10-7 of diamonds in the small blind, folds. Sorrel Mitzi in the big blind with king deuce having trouble getting traction today. He lays it down.
King, queen, 9, 2 spades, 1 diamond. That's what I'm hoping for.
Was this a fast food joint?
How about tray ace-ace? Daniel's pair of trays to go along with the two aces leads. Lemke still trying to steal it, 2025.
Lemke representing a pocket pair here, I believe.
Putting Daniel to an early test, and Daniel will call.
Daniel representing stick-to-itiveness.
A king on the turn. Daniel with aces up still leads. Lemke checks this time.
Daniel could bet here and take it down, of course, unless he's check-raised.
Daniel checks. River card, another tray. Daniel improves to a full house. Lemke's going to bluff at it again with 3,100.
Well, and this bluff would have a better chance of working if just about any other card had hit the board.
I have no idea what you got. Looks like he's trying to say, I have an ace.
Trying to bluff Daniel's like trying to shake an FBI tail. Right here, it's simply a case of whether Daniel believes Lemke has an ace or not.
That would give Lemke a better full house. Daniel makes the call.
He's playing the board, actually.
Brian says he's playing the board.
And Daniel will take the pot.
Second time today, Lemke tried to bluff Daniel.
He did his best to convince Negreanu he had an ace, but the 4-time World Series bracelet winner saw through the ruse.
I tried to bluff Daniel the other day at the supermarket line.
And?
He ended up with the avocado.
My man still in? Yeah.
Yeah, your man in red.
Deborah. How's Deborah doing?
Daniel checking on his fellow Canadian Greg Deborah, who is three-handed at table 6 with just about 22,000 chips. He's the short stack, trailing the chip leader Luis Vasquez, but hanging in there.
Go Canada, eh?
As Daniel heads back over at the 5-handed table 4, another Canadian is in a good spot to collect some chips. Van Wyn with pocket kings just re-raised strong pro Jason Mercier, who holds ace-jack pre-flop.
I'm confused, Lon. The Canadian has a Vietnamese name and the American has a Canadian name.
Mercier now re-pops it. He raises. Van Wyn all in. Van Wyn makes the call.
I'm gonna call if he shoves, so I guess maybe I should.
Jason Mercier has been on a tournament tear, but Van Wyn has him in a deep hole here.
And Van Wyn almost a 3-1 favorite. Here's the flop, and there's an ace that will put a damper on Wyn's night.
Oh boy, and now Van Wyn all but out of here. These two have almost identical stacks.
Another 9. Mercier with aces up. Wyn with kings up.
Van Wyn will need a king and a king only, or he is wamboozled.
The river card is paid, but it's a queen. So Jason Mercier collects a $5,000 bounty chip here at table 4. Van Wyn knocked out in 5th place.
One of those nice guys from Canada hits the rail. USA, USA, USA.
Yeah, that word. The worst ever.
Hey, I wrote that song.
Mercier, the chip leader at the table, though he would have been the short stack if he had lost that hand. At table 2, 5 players left. Barry Greenstein, the short stack, is watching as the table chip leader Sam Stein and Greg Raymer are in a hand. Stein flopped kings up. Raymer, unluckily, queens up. Raymer bet 1,200, and you see by the white arrow, action is on Stein.
This is a battle of the blinds. It's gone real bad for Greg Raymer.
Sam Stein raises to 34-25.
This is an awful spot for Raymer. I can't see how he gets away from the hand. I can't see how he doesn't get all his chips into the middle.
All in.
Greg Raymer raises all in.
I call.
Stein makes the call. And Raymer will see he's in trouble.
Oh, no way. That's getting good.
It's nice to see Sam Stein smiling and ahead.
Don't do that.
I'm this close to like starting to sign, put your name on the fossil.
Raymer signs a fossil to anyone who knocks him out.
Right now, Barry Greenstein's tweeting. The world champ ripped off my shtick, and now he's hamming it up right in front of me.
Third card now. It's the 4 of hearts. Stein still way ahead.
STEIN, right?
Wait for it.
No, I'll wait for it, but just
Unless you want to
that's
get
a
it to me either way.
formality. You know, you
Raymer needs a queen.
The river card is an ace, and that will do it. Sam Stein knocks off Greg Raymer, who will ship the chips, sign the fossil, and hand his bounty over to his vanquisher.
I think Fossil Man is actually writing Sam Stein a prescription for nitric acid.
Stein with 1 bounty, now up over 83,000 chips.
Oh, wait, we got to give you the choice. Which one do you want?
The kid's got to choose between $5,000 and the fossil.
I'll always just take this.
Very loving the fact that Stein called Raymer's bluff there. Stein having fun with the former world champ.
All right, have fun, boys.
Raymer leaves with a $5,000 bounty chip and one fossil lighter. The 4 remaining players fight on.
Welcome back to Mohegan Sun and the North American Poker Tour, presented by PokerStars.net.
Back in Mohegan Sun and this NAPT bounty shootout. Still no bounties taken at the feature table, where Daniel Negreanu is now the chip leader.
I'm doing way better than last time. Last time I was like half out by now. Or out, period. I think I was out.
What's the last shootout?
Yeah, it was.
As we take a look at the feature table chip count, Negreanu on top, just ahead of Joe Gibbons. Perry Horwich also close behind, just ahead of Faraz Jaka. Lemke and Mitzi way behind. Jaka wants the short stack at this table, climbed back to a respectable stack. He looks down at pocket queens and a raise to 1,000. Mitzi gets out of the way. He has been very quiet tonight. Perry Horwich on the dealer button with ace deuce offsuit.
Radiologists love the weak ace.
Weak ace will make the call. Lemke 10-5 of clubs, and he folds. To Daniel Negreanu in the big blind. Ace 9 off.
Canadians love ace 9 off.
Enough to re-raise it to 4,100.
Jaka has made 1 World Series final table and 2 World Poker Tour final tables.
Raise.
24-year-old is going to re-raise it to 9,100. Horwich.
Hope to stay with you guys.
He'll fold.
Negreanu now would be heads up, out of position against Jaka.
I'm not happy you did that. But maybe I saved a lot of money this way. Probably, because I'm going to fold. That's what I'm going to do. I'm folding.
Jaka picks up a few grand without a fight.
Good read from Daniel, and he probably cut his losses.
I think I saved a lot of money in a weird way. Because I was going to go broke on that hand. I just feel it. You know what I'm saying?
And jacks?
Huh?
Jacks?
Oh, yeah, that's what I had, yeah.
So Faraz Jaka has climbed all the way back from being the short stack to now the chip leader at this featured table. He sits with nearly 35,000 chips. Let's go over to table 3. Steve Sung, now the chip leader after doubling through and crippling Hoyt Corkins. Corkins now finds himself all in for his tournament life against Scott Paston.
I got you, Chief.
You got a good hand.
Yeah, I got a good hand.
Hoyt Corkins with a 7 off, Paston with pocket kings.
Paston, another rare amateur in this event. He owns an insurance agency.
I still want the 5 bounty, though. Just saying. No, you can hold on to it. You don't know how unlucky I am.
Oh, yes, we do. We know because you're a Jets fan.
All right, Corkins at risk of being the second bounty victim here. He got his card, the ace, but it's not enough because Paston flopped a set of kings.
Yeah, Hoyt should just ship the bounty chip now to save time.
Turn card is a 7. That pairs Hoyt. He's got a little hope.
Hoyt can stick around now with an ace.
1 red ace.
I mean, you hit that run.
Just come
I'm
red.
giving this game up.
Oh, yeah.
Right now.
You're running unlucky.
River card is an 8, and that will do it. Hoyt Corkins knocked out in 5th place by amateur Scott Paston.
Corkins second at the last bounty shootout, an early exit this time.
He's the second player to be knocked out at this table. Scott Paston over 30,000 chips and $5,000 richer.
But he's still a Jets fan, which makes him poorer.
At table 2, Barry Greenstein is the short stack at what is now a 3-handed table, and it might be heads up soon. Sam Stein at it again. He outflopped William Reynolds. Stein with 2 pair, Reynolds with 1 pair.
Sam Stein running good again. He was dominated pre-flop. Now he's about to knock out William Reynolds.
Reynolds looking for help. A jack on the turn helps him a little.
Reynolds has to have a jack or an ace on the river to stick around.
And the river card is a deuce of clubs, and table 2 is now heads up thanks to Sam Stein. Reynolds goes away with 1 bounty. He had knocked out Brett Ritchie.
I gotta tell you, Lon, I believe Sam Stein would run lucky in a tsunami.
So now Stein is heads up with Barry Greenstein with a huge chip lead, a situation that Sam found himself in at the NAPT Venetian main event final table. But Stein has to hope that history does not repeat itself.
That final table, when we first started heads up, it definitely seemed like the things were going my way. But, I definitely dwell on a couple mistakes I made heads up. The first hand, I was very surprised that I was beat.
All in.
I felt like I had a really strong read.
I call.
I called him very fast, and I had a really weak hand.
Sam Stein tried to make a hero call to end this.
And that's not something I would normally do when playing for the title.
What was Sam Stein thinking?
First one, I was kind of shocked, and that's obviously when the tables were turned. The second hand, I made another big mistake.
All in.
I call.
Stein calls, which means Tom Marchese is the champion.
And I guess what I could say I learned is that people play differently based on when they're playing for that kind of money. But as a whole, I felt I played really well throughout to get there. But you need to win. The win's, the only thing that matters.
You have to trust your reads and your instincts. Unfortunately for Sam, during that heads up, his instincts were as good as mine usually are in picking women.
Back to our featured table, and a man who usually has impeccable instincts, Daniel Negreanu. Right now he is watching on as his fellow Canadian Sorel Mitzi is all in after the flop. Mitzi with straight and flush draws, and he trails Joe Gibbons, who limped in pre-flop with pocket aces. He also trails the two pair of Perry Horwich, who flopped 5s and 4s. Faraz Jaka saw the flop with ace tray, but checked folded after a bet and raise in front of him. Action on Joe Gibbons, who has the other two players in the hand covered.
Call.
And he makes the call for 10,400 more. So back to Perry Horwich.
Radiologists love flopping two pair.
Flop a straight and not raise. I'll call.
Horwich calls with the best hand.
This is either great luck or bad luck for Mitzi. If Gibbons had raised pre-flop with his aces, Mitzi would have mucked his hand in the big blind, but now he'll either triple up or be gone.
Turn card is another 4. Horwich improves to a boat. Mitzi will be eliminated. He's drawing dead. Gibbons can still win with a better full boat.
All in.
Gibbons raises Horwich all in, and he calls immediately. And Horwich in great shape to scoop this big pot.
So Sorel Mitzi, a victim of circumstance there. Joe Gibbons is going to need the last ace in the deck to knock out Perry Horwich.
The river card now is a deuce of clubs, and Horwich will scoop it all and collect the $5,000 bounty from Sorel Mitzi. Joe Gibbons must feel like he was hit by a sniper holding 5-4.
First blood. Yeah.
Radiologists love cracking aces.
And another Canadian hits the rail. Sorel Mitzi, no bonuses, no bounties. Perry Horwich, the big chip leader at the featured table with almost 72,000 chips.
All right, I did better than the last one.
Daniel was knocked out first at the Venetian.
I mean, you're ready to go? You're satisfied?
Yeah, now I'm ready to ship it.
Job one done for Daniel. He outlasted someone. Now it's time to get some bounties. Along the banks of the Thames River, nestled away in the heart of scenic New England, is the truly fantastic destination of Mohegan Sun, where inside you can find plenty of fun, food, and gaming, making this second stop on the NAPT a great one. Inside the poker room, the PokerStars.net Bounty Shootout continues. The winner gets that trophy and all of the $350,000 prize. Back at the feature table, Daniel Negreanu holding steady. He's got almost 28,000 chips. The blinds are up to 3 and 600 with a 75 chip ante. Action over to Daniel Negreanu with ace-8 offsuit.
Daniel says the average player today is much better. He says if you don't keep adjusting, you will be outplayed and outclassed.
The average player, huh? Where does that leave you?
Good for you.
Daniel raised it to 1,200. Faraz Jaka will sit this one out over to the big blind, Joe Gibbons. 10-8 of diamonds.
Very few amateurs in these high roller shootouts. It's tough sledding for them.
Gibbons calls for 600 more. We'll go heads up with Negreanu. The flop 10-10 ace. Gibbons hits trip 10s. Daniel with aces up. Gibbons checks, slow playing. Daniel checks also.
Daniel also slow playing his hand.
Turn card is a queen, keeping things status quo. Gibbons is going to bet only 600.
Tiny bet, 600 into a pot of 3,000. Smells fishy.
Daniel, does he want to pounce? No, just calls.
Daniel's slow playing what he thinks is the best hand.
River card is a 6, but it's Gibbons, of course, who has the best hand with the trip 10s. Gibbons all in.
For a bounty, right?
25.
I'd win a bounty if I bust you.
25 all.
For the bounty, one time. This will be fun. I love this bounty thing. It's so cool. All right.
Daniel calls for 5,300
Daniel calls.
and loses.
That's good.
Defense.
I was hoping to get it all in the whole time.
Daniel's chips are whittling away as he keeps misshooting for the bounty.
Gibbons keeps his bounty, doubling through Daniel Negreanu, while Negreanu is still over in his bounty quest through 2 shootout tournaments. All right, let's go over to table 3, where they are four-handed. Sean Buchanan trying to come from behind with king-queen and collect his second bounty up against Joe Cassidy, who is at risk. He leads with ace-high after the flop. Turn card now. 6 of spades. Cassidy still ahead with all his chips at risk.
Sean Buchanan looking for a king, queen, or jack to ring up Joe Cassidy.
The river card is the king. So Buchanan spikes the winning